Yo, what's up world? It's your boy Philochko here. You know that American dude with the incredible mood? That's me. And today I am making a special video. Today I'm not teaching anything. Well, I can't say I'm not teaching anything, but today I'm not teaching any kind of English. I'm not giving any sort of lesson. I'm kind of going to talk about me because I just realized something yesterday. Yesterday I was talking to my good friend from St. Petersburg, and he gave me a reminder that it's been 3 years since I first came to Russia. 3 years since I first came to Russia. It's been 3 years. That's crazy. So I haven't been in Russia all 3 of the years straight. No, I was in Russia, I was in Ukraine, I was in Hungary, I was in Cyprus, I was also in America 4 times. So I wasn't in Russia the whole 3 years, but I would say out of these 3 years, I was probably in Russia for 2 of those 3 years altogether. So I've probably been in Russia for about 2 years altogether now, off and on, traveling to like Ukraine and other places. But I think a lot of you people don't really know the history of me and whatnot, and what really happened or how I got here. Because I noticed a lot of people ask me, you know, what are you doing in Russia? Why Russia? What are you doing here? Well, let me give the quick story of Philochko, and I'll make some video clips. I'll show some video clips to help you guys to understand. Well, first and foremost, the reason why I'm first in Russia is because of YouTube. Now, how did I start on YouTube? Well, there's something a lot of you don't know, and you're going to find out right now. There was actually a video that I was in before anyone else knew me. And in this video, I was speaking Russian. It's called Baba Feda Part 3. It's a friend of mine from New York. We both used to film the TV show Gossip Girl together. And he asked me to be on his show. It's a YouTube show. I did it, and it came out like this.
Это Джостик прибежал, брата. Я же тебе сказал, что ты...
Oh, hi, is Gabby here?
Жаба. Just one sec, okay? 1 sec. Who are you?
I'm Phil.
Phil. Габа, тебя здесь кто-то ждет. Окей. Вот. Такой ты здесь черный здесь пришел.
Ё-моё! Извините, меня зовут Филя.
Фира?
Филя, да.
А, Филя?
Филя.
А, как Филочка. Ну, я понял. А чем ты занимаешься? Ты занимаешься в школе?
Да, я учусь в NYU, медицинской программе.
Ой, молодец. А как ты знаешь русский?
Мой папа из Африки,
Да?
но он учился в Москве. Вы поняли, да?
Да.
Мой русский очень плохо, извините.
It's okay, я подумал, что он китаец, но it's okay.
Я учусь по-русски.
Да. Габа, где ты?
Hi.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hi.
What's going
Это твой
on?
друг?
Da, what are you doing
I
here?
just came
Ты хочешь кушать?
No, I came to use the bathroom. Пиписка.
Да,
Можно?
да, пиписка, нет проблем.
Я не знаю,
Пиписка,
окей,
пошли.
спасибо.
Ты какой хороший мальчик. Ты в NYU, ты хочешь быть доктором?
Да, я хочу быть, но...
Ой, какой ты великолепный.
Это очень
Уходи,
трудно, очень
пиписка,
трудно.
только смотри, что там.
Окей.
Ой, я тебе туалетную бумагу дам, подожди.
Окей.
Ты не будешь какать? Подожди.
Я...
На.
Thank you.
Just in
Спасибо.
case, окей.
Окей.
Давай.
Я закончил.
Ой, какой ты молодец.
Let's go, babe. Let's do this. And then people really loved the way I was acting. People thought I was cool. They thought it was funny to see a black guy speaking Russian. Now, why did I know some Russian? Well, because when I was in New York, I rented rooms to people. I rented out rooms for people to live. And most of the people who rented rooms in my house were Russian or Ukrainian. So I had to learn some Russian in order to better communicate with those people. So I had to speak Russian more in New York than I have to do in Russia. Now that I'm in Russia, I do nothing but speak English. But in New York, I had to speak English and Russian. So my Russian was actually much better back then, which is interesting. So what I started to do, as you can see on this channel, I started making YouTube videos in Russian. Me and my ex-wife, we started making videos together in Russian, and then a lot of Russian people liked it, and over time, I eventually was invited to Russia 3 years ago. The first thing I did in Russia was I gave this little show in St. Petersburg, and it was very, very interesting. girls aren't very friendly to a random intruder. So if you talk to girls, hopefully you already know them because if you don't know them, these things. Men in Russia, very rude. They'll just bump into you. They won't even try to move out of the way. They don't care. Only thing that matters is them.
Hey! Philochko, I see you on YouTube, your videos. Yeah. Офигенные вообще. Can I take a picture?
Yeah, a picture.
Достаньте ровно.
A picture.
Okay. Опа! Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
come on. Yeah, come on, man.
Got it. That's right. All that.
Come on.
A lot of people liked it. So I went back to America, and then next thing you know, I was invited back to Russia again. But this time when I was invited to Russia, I had a tour. I had to go to Vladivostok, then Khabarovsk, Vladivostok again, Irkutsk, Yekaterinburg, Moscow, Grozny, St. Petersburg again. I had a huge tour, and you know, I was on the news, people were doing interviews.
Веселый английский, необычные мастер-классы по иностранному языку дает в Хабаровске американец Фил Джонс. Каждый его урок превращается в спектакль. Репортаж Натальи Смолениновой.
My handwriting is terrible. Sorry.
Я ужасно пишу, простите, я не учитель.
That's exactly why I'm not a teacher.
Сам педагог, будучи в Хабаровске, предпочитает гулять по центральным улицам города. Променад по криминальным районам в его программу не входит.
Пятая площадка, туда я не пойду. Я приехал сюда учить, а не драться.
Нужно учить язык и какие ошибки нам не делать, когда мы приезжаем в Америку. Это был Philochko специально для ИТВ. Учите и да... Я не знаю. Извини, я правда... Я волнуюсь что-то. Все. Не знаю. Ладно.
Я не понимаю, что...
Все.
Nervous people make me nervous.
Фил на меня так смотрит, мне аж неудобно. Ладно, все.
They gotta keep these. Can I buy these tapes? I would like to buy these.
Это даже
Купить вот эти.
кусочки, да?
Thus, I got comfortable here. Of course, I go home sometimes, but basically, I came back and I'm here in Novosibirsk where I am generally comfortable. It's been a long ride since I've been here. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of things. And it's been very interesting. 31 cities. 31 cities, and some of those cities I've been in and I've worked it up to 5 times. This is my 3rd time in Novosibirsk. I was once in February, once in April, then I came again in May, and I stayed. So I do a lot of traveling in Russia. I've done more traveling in Russia than most Russian people. But a lot of people want to know, like, what have I learned? What's the difference between the Russia I know now and compared to the Russia I thought about, or I thought Russia was like when I was in New York? What's the difference? Well, I'll tell you this. One difference between Russia and America, that at least that I know now, is that the people in Russia, no, one thing that's the same is the people. I knew the people would be like this. I knew the people would have very serious faces. You know, people look at me a lot. Like, I knew that because it's the same thing in New York. You know, it's the same thing. When Russian people come to New York, they kind of, especially when they live in Russian areas, there's some Russian people who don't live where all the other Russians are. They kind of live by themselves with other types of people. They're different. But the Russian people who live like in the Russian areas, they're just like the Russian people here. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. So I was ready for that. But what was different? What is different? Well, of course, I thought they'd be bears. I thought they'd be bears. No, I didn't think they'd just be in the street. I was just sure I'd see a bear just once in a while. I really thought I'd see a bear. I also thought I would hear a lot of gunshots. But I haven't heard one gunshot since I've been here. I haven't heard even one. But I thought I'd hear gunshots, but no, I haven't heard any. You know, there's not many guns in Russia. That's one thing that surprised me. I didn't know Russia was like that, because where I lived before I came to Russia in Queensbridge projects, I heard gunshots all the time. I heard gunshots a lot. Like every week I'd hear someone get shot or something. But here I haven't heard one. I hear fireworks in the air, but I haven't heard any guns, so that surprised me. I didn't see that coming. But then people want to talk about certain things like, Phil, are they homophobic? Are they racist? All these things a lot of Americans want to know about since I've been here. Well, generally, one thing I noticed is that Russia gets a little better with that stuff every year. I'm not sure why it's improving. So like the Russia now is much safer than the Russia 6 years ago. It's much safer than, not much, but it's safer than the Russia when I first got here 3 years ago. It's actually improving a little bit each year. I'm not exactly sure how, but it's just getting better. So like the odds of you being a foreigner and you getting into a fight with people in the street because you're a foreigner, maybe by racist people or something, it's less than it was like 3 years ago, and especially like 7 or 8, 9 years ago. Very, very different. But for some reason, Russia is changing in that aspect. It's changing. I'm not saying it's the safest place in the world for foreigners. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's much better than it was before. You know, out here in Novosibirsk, there's no issues. There's black people. They don't really, like, I'm kind of I guess, an idiot. I do what I want, you know. I walk around at night with my friends and stuff like that. I don't see many other black people who do that, but I tell you, they can do that here. It's absolutely fine. Maybe in some cities or towns, that's not a good idea, but here in Novosibirsk, it's absolutely fine. You know, you got some friends with you, it's alright. You know, don't be a pussy, and you'll be alright, you know. What else? About the whole homophobia thing, a lot of people ask me about that. What I thought before I came to Russia was, that pussy riot situation. There was like this whole pussy riot situation, but this before I came to Russia, and everybody was like, oh, in Russia they're being mean to pussy riot and stuff and all this stuff, and I was like, the hell's pussy riot? Oh, they're lesbians who did something in a church and Russia's mad and all this stuff, and Russia's homophobic. That's what everyone was saying. But since I've got here, one thing I noticed is that Russian people don't hate the fact that someone's gay, they don't want to see it. Like, they usually just don't want to see it in the street. So they don't want to have to walk down the street and like see two gay guys kissing. They generally don't want to see that. Even the nicest Russian people, they respect people, they understand people, they just don't want to see it, like in public. That's usually how they are. So it's not like, let's go and beat up gay people and kill them. It's not like that nowadays. It's not like that. It's just, we don't want to see it. That's usually how it is. We don't want to see it. And we don't want it, well, I'm saying what they say, not saying we as in I'm Russian. But most Russian people just say, we don't want that to be part of our popular culture. We want our children to grow up and be, the word they use in Russia is normal. We want our children to be normal, have kids, we want my son to have a wife, or want my daughter to have a husband, stuff like that. So that's just kind of how that is in Russia. What else is different or something I didn't expect? I thought I'd see more black people. I don't know why I thought I'd see more black people, but I'm not seeing many black people at all. If you want to see a lot of black people in Russia, you have to go to the universities. Certain universities have a lot of black people. What else? The women are beautiful, absolutely. I predicted that because they're sexy in New York too, and they're sexy here. You know, a lot of people think like, oh, Philochko, you must love it being in Russia with all these girls here. I'm like, dude, go to New York. Are you serious? You know how many Russian girls are in New York? There's probably more Russian girls in New York than in Novosibirsk. There's a lot, so it's not that much of a difference for me. Only difference is there's a lot more Russian men here. That's the difference. Because in New York, it was easy for me to run into Russian girls, but not often did I run into Russian men, you know, and that's also something else I noticed. Is if you're a Russian woman, you're more likely to speak English than Russian men. I'm not exactly sure why. I think girls in Russia are typically more hip to like traveling and different cultures and stuff. Possibly that could be why. So right now I'm just basically giving my thoughts on Russia, some things about it. Things that Americans worry about, you know, because 3 years since I came here, been here for about 2 years, and things are absolutely fine, you know. The police are nice. That's another thing I like. The police are cool. I don't know how they are to Russian people. I don't know. But with me, they're cool. They're cool as hell. I don't remember any issues with police. I remember one time, they weren't police though, they were like, I don't know, they might have been police, there's some special police, but I got that handled, that was handled. It was some little situation I had in, I think it was Pensa. You could probably find it on Google, but we handled that, that was no problem. And yeah, that's really it, you know, so I still run into interesting situations out here in Russia. Like, this one time, the babushki came to my apartment.
Оля, иди сюда. У нас завтра стояк менять будут.
Здрасте. Завтра с 9 утра до обеда
9
водой
o'clock in the morning. 9 o'clock in the morning.
да,
Okay.
с 9 до 3 часов дня.
Okay.
Унитаз нельзя смывать.
Вау!
В туалет ходить нельзя.
Очень долго. Почему? Что произошло?
Трубу будут менять. Трубу. То
Ко
есть,
мне,
если
ко
вы...
мне постучишь, если надо.
О, я буду... Окей.
Ну а что сделать? Приходите сюда.
Я буду. Понимаю.
Ну что ж, надо.
Хорошо?
Хорошо.
Спасибо.
А то ей на голову.
А то все, что вы выльете, будет на голове.
О, не, да, не хочу. Окей, понимаю.
Спасибо.
Okay.
Спасибо.
And that's basically it, guys. Just wanted to tell you guys about how I started and how I am now and things I think, how I think of Russia now compared to what I thought of it before. And that's really it, people. There's not much more for me to say. Thank you guys for having me in Russia. Thank you guys for having me in Ukraine. That was great too. You know, I was in Ukraine for 4 months. That was a lot of fun. And, you know, I'm enjoying my time here. So that's really it. And to let you guys know, I enjoy my time. Now there's another one coming. There's another Black American from Compton named Daniela Petrovich. You know, he has a real interesting story and he's coming up next. I'll leave his information in the description if you want to contact him. He'll be landing in Moscow December 1st. So make him feel just as welcome here in Russia as you did for me when I first got here.
Understood that they have a form of Russian hip-hop. And I like the way it sounds. I've been to a Basta concert. I remember when Basta came out to Hollywood. He came out to Hollywood, California. I went to his concert. I enjoyed it. Had an amazing time. You know, and I understood that these are my friends, and I have learned a lot of Russian language. Я немножко понимаю, I know I never been to school, never been to class and nothing like this to learn this stuff.
Basically it, people. I'm out. Later. And let me give a special thanks to all of you who've helped me while I was here, for anyone who's, you know, helped me to do things that I couldn't do myself because I don't speak Russian that well, for people who've hired me for work, the Chechen government, you know, anyone who's had any hand in helping me out here in Russia and in Ukraine as well. All of you, thank you very freaking much. It is appreciated. Now winter's coming in Russia, and I just hope I don't die. It's getting cold in Siberia. And that's basically it, you guys. Thank you all very much. Trust me, I'm crying on the inside. You just can't see it. Chick, chick, chick. Ah, chick, chick.
And don't be racist.
So don't be. That is his catchphrase. The don't.